It's time for the Savvy Realtor Podcast. I'm Walter Storholt alongside Angie Cole, the owner and broker in charge of A. Cole Realty, serving you throughout the Triangle, teaching you about the ins and outs when it comes to buying or selling a home. You can find the team online by going to acolerealty.com. That's A-C-O-L-E realty.com, or by calling 919-578-3128. That's 919-578-3128. And now it's time for one of the top realtors in the Triangle, Angie Cole, and the Savvy Realtor Podcast. If you've got any questions, Angie's got answers for you most of the time. And if we don't know the answer, we'll go find out the answer for you and let you know. If you want to submit any questions to be featured on the show, you can go to acolerealty.com. And with that, Angie, let's open up the mailbag and get our first question of the week here from Amber in Raleigh. Amber says, I've heard you talk about the dangers of selling a home on your own, but what about buying a home from a for sale by owner seller? Is there any danger or concern there?
Amber, I'd have to say, unfortunately, there is. I know anytime one of our clients, they find a for sale by owner sign and they want us to go show it to them and schedule an appointment, we cringe a little bit. And the only reason being is we oftentimes see that seller who's doing a for sale by owner is completely clueless about the process. And when we're working with, the seller on the other end who just does not understand the process, a real estate transaction, understanding the paperwork, it makes it tougher for all of us. Because then it leaves, like me, for example, representing you, Amber, on the buy side, it leaves me kind of doing all the work and facilitating, but still making sure I'm representing you and looking out for your best interests. So we oftentimes find that it can be a little bit messy. We oftentimes find too, and this is not always across the board, but a lot of times when someone is doing a for sale by owner sale, they oftentimes are a lot tighter on their negotiations. Because you know what, if they're not willing to invest into a real estate agent to help them to get their home sold for top dollar, oftentimes they're not going to be that negotiable when it comes to the price point. We see that they don't have someone being kind of the voice of reasoning to explain to them, well, here's the comparables. This is how your home should be priced. So we oftentimes find that negotiating an offer with a for sale by owner, it can be difficult. So, our team though with A. Cole Realty, we do the very best that we can to shelter you from all of the kind of nonsense and the frustrations that might come along with working with a for sale by owner, because we want to focus on you getting that home. If that's a home that you want, we will do our very best job to, get that home for you and you get the best deal. Is the dangers of selling, or working with someone who's selling their home as a for sale by owner, there can be some complications along the way. We've seen that in the past.
Well said, Angie. A lot of things there I would never have even thought about. Hey, it's buying a home. Who matters who's selling it? But it's a great example of how the structure of the sale could be totally different in that particular case. And yeah, to me, that would be kind of weird dealing maybe directly with the person selling the home in such an intimate way. Like, it's almost nice that it's more of a business transaction from the buying standpoint, because you can help eliminate those emotions, So that's, I can see that being difficult.
As a real estate agent, I feel the same way. I'd rather work with another agent, versus working directly with the seller.
You guys speak the same language, right?
Yeah. Well, and we have to be careful on, language in a sense, but the wording that we use when we're speaking directly with the seller, because like you just said, it's emotional for them. They love that home. They're not thinking of it as a real estate transaction and being mindful of that. There's a lot of personal thought that goes into, selling that home that isn't always the best way to go about things. So it can be a little bit difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. So great question, Amber. Thank you for submitting that one to us. Very helpful to get questions like this on the show each week for sure. And Amber, you're looking to buy a home, it sounds like. And Angie, I know we have a lot of people listening to the show that are in that market to buy a home. And that's one reason why you and the team at A. Cole Realty have put together that great buying guide for folks who might be about to walk through that journey.
Yeah, so we have a great resource that we would love to share with you. So if you are thinking about buying a home and even selling one, we have a document that we can share with you. And it's just the home buying process. So it takes you through the steps from start to finish, and it walks you through the process. So you make sure that you're always one step ahead when you are going down that avenue. So if you are thinking about buying a home and you want to understand the process, we would love to share with you our home buying guide. you can text the word contract to the phone number 555-888, and from there we will send you back the downloadable home buying guide. So once again, if you're thinking about buying a home or even selling and you want to understand the steps from start to finish, we would love to share with you our home buying guide. You can just text the word contract to the phone number 555-888.
Again, just text the word contract to the number 555-888, and we'll text you right back immediately a link to access that home buying guide. So it's a great resource for anybody who, especially if you're a first-time home buyer and you kind of want to see what that sort of step-by-step process is going to look like. This is a kind of easy, boiled-down version or guide that's going to just show you all of those most important steps of the process. Great to have handy, great to look over before you start even working with an agent, just so that you're familiar with the process going into it. You'll learn some key terms, some valuable information there as well. But it's not just for first-time home buyers. I know, we had a 5 or 6 year gap between buying home number 1 and then moving on to home number 2, and you forget a lot in 5 or 6 years. So
it's true. And you know what? The process does change, though, because remember, our contract changes. For example, one of the newest changes that is coming about every July, the contract docs can change, and normally they do. The Real Estate Commission will change things on us, but we are doing away with the contingent sale addendum, which is a very common addendum that people use whenever writing up a contract when they have a home to sell or a home to close. But we are doing away with that, and now that's something that needs to be drawn up by an attorney. So things change all the time.
Yeah, it's a very good point. So it's been 15, 20 years since your last home purchase. A lot may have changed in that time. So again, it's a good reminder of that buying process. So if you want to get that guide, it is for free, a resource that Angie provides here on the show. All you have to do is send a text to the number 555-888, and in the message, you just put the word contract, and we'll text you right back that link to download the guide. It's that simple. Text the word contract to the number 555-888 for Angie Cole's home buying guide. Amber, thanks for the great questions, sparking lots of good discussion there. Let's get another one here from Blake. Blake is in Holly Springs and says, we're starting to build our next home. It'll be several months before it's ready. I'm worried about waiting too long to list our current home for sale. I don't want to get stuck with 2 mortgages. I also, however, don't want to sell now and have to live in a hotel or apartment for several months in between moves. Is there a way to sell the home now but not have the buyer move in until our new home is ready?
You know, Blake, unfortunately, this is something that I hear all of the time because there's so many of you out there that are selling and building a new home. And unfortunately, there's never a good answer to give someone. It is almost near to impossible to perfectly line up the closing dates. And the reason why I state that is although I can give you good guidance on your sales side, depending on the neighborhood and the area as far as how long it will take us to go under contract and then close, first of all, that's never going to be exact. But the one thing that we really do not have control over is the builder's timeline. And so although you are building and they could even give you a estimated closing date or even a firm closing date, at any point, the builder can change that on you and you are at the mercy of them. And so if they are ready early, you need to close early. If it takes them another 3 months to get your home, built and ready for closing, you just have to wait. So that's why there's a lot of kind of being in limbo. But once in a blue moon, you will have a buyer who makes an offer on your sale and who will allow you to do seller possession after closing. I actually have one right now where it was a win-win. We got, again, a sight unseen offer from an investor. So we never truly went active and on the market. We were in the coming soon advertising stage, which we really take advantage of. And if you're looking to sell your home, I can go into detail on that, but it's a wonderful status to be in. But sight unseen offer, and the investor is allowing my sellers to live in the home, do seller possession after closing, so it then can align up whenever their new home is being built and going to be ready for closing. But Blake, my thoughts are expect to move into temporary housing. I would rather you not wait too long to get your home on the market with the fear of now having 2 mortgages or maybe not being able to close on your new home because you need to close on your first home, before making that closing happen for your new one. So expect to live in temporary housing. I know it sucks. I hate that word, but it does.
Well, you kind of have to choose in this case. Well, first of all, two things jump out to me. The old saying, hope for the best, prepare for the worst, right?
Yes,
or plan for the worst. So the worst would be that you're going to have to choose one of those two options.
Yeah.
Potentially have overlapping mortgages if you wait, or sell now, but you're going to prepare to move into temporary housing. But you can hope for the best, that maybe there's a buyer that wants to buy the home now but is totally fine waiting to move in. That does happen, but
it does,
it's just not something you're going to bank on, right?
Right. And we want you to focus on, getting your home under contract, not finding that, perfect buyer that will allow you to do seller possession after closing, because you know what? A lot of times maybe their lease is expiring, so they must be in your home. So don't bank on the buyer for your home allowing you to stay, after closing.
Yeah. The other thing,
look at other options.
Choose, what's the lesser of the two evils, right?
Sure.
Which one is a bigger deal to you, the moving into temporary housing, or if you have an overlapping mortgage for a month or two, would you rather absorb that?
Yes.
Versus. So which one is more painful, and then do the other.
Sure.
in that case.
Everyone's situation is different. So, but that's something that, I'm a real estate agent. I'm not a therapist, but I can definitely walk you through those issues and concerns and give you, the best guidance that I can possibly give you.
You've been listening to the Savvy Realtor Podcast. I'm Walter Storholt alongside Angie Cole. She's the owner and broker in charge of A. Cole Realty here in the Triangle. And if you have questions for Angie, we invite you to go online to acolerealty.com. Listen to past podcast episodes on the website, read the blog, and all the great information, including the option to find a home right there on the website. That's acolerealty.com. And you can also call Angie with your questions, 919-578-3128.